Yeah, it is, huh?
It's still snowing out? Oh my god.
That's, yeah, wow, this is a fucking huge snowfall.
Oh man. And I didn't know that this was going to happen too.
I'm on the Cakewalk forums, and there's a lot of people. This is for you guys on the Cakewalk forums. Okay, a lot of you guys are there, and you. There's a lot of misinformation, shall we say, and I just want to show people my studio and specifically my speakers. There's people who don't know anything about speakers. Then there's the vast majority of people who think they know everything about speakers. And then there's the tiny bit who really know about speakers. Okay, I'm the type of person that really knows about speakers. So let's go take a look. I'll show you my setup. Let's take a look. Come on. No, come on. So what we have here is we have our actual desk. The desk is small on purpose. We want the screen to be as close as possible. And then what we have here is we have custom built slide out with the mouse right there. And the custom built slide out, we got a new keyboard here, which is the M Audio Keyrig 49, highly recommended. The key action on this blows away. And you're starting to see this keyboard in specific, even with the expensive producers, because the key action is so good. There's my old one right there. So just slide that back in, whatever. And then you got a footrest here. And you got this comfy style chair, so you can really make yourself at home. Now, what we also have here is we have our mixer in hands reach, and the mixer here. The thing with this M Audio, here is that what it has is it actually has a headphone out with its own volume control. It has knobs here, if you can see that, and it has its own volume control, and that's a very important thing because this headphone out actually sounds good. It's not a joke output, it's an actual high quality output with its own discrete volume control. And what that does is it goes into the mixer into an input, and what that does is it goes from here into a home theater, 5.1 receiver. A subwoofer gets hooked up to this, as well as these large 10-inch home JVC speakers. Now, at the back of this, what we have is we have two unbalanced inputs, you see? And these are going into the monitors. Do you understand? So we're getting a direct signal to the monitors, because the monitors are the most important thing that we need when we're in our studio. So when it comes to the speakers, these are just filler. The treble is turned all the way down. This just puts out mid-bass. That's all this does. This doesn't put out any high gain at all. Okay, and they're not turned up that loud, to be honest. But the main audio definitely comes from the outputs right here. Never go into a mixer and then do an output again to the speakers. You always want it to be coming right from here. I know a lot of people could disagree with that with good merit, but if you're just using like kind of cheap stuff, just go from here, unless you got like a lot better stuff. Okay, and then what we have here is we have the main monitors. So what you got there is you got these tall 3.5 foot high speakers, and then what you got there sitting on some foam is you got what everybody's hating on, which are these powered studio monitors right here, 6.5 inch. That's what you got. Okay, and these over there, do you see that input balanced? And then there's an input to unbalanced, okay? Then what you have is you have a bass filter at 150 hertz. And then what you have is you have basically the volume, you see? And this is what I would recommend for studio monitors. Now, a lot of people disagree with that. You know what I mean? But I'm sorry, I don't take that train of thought. And the reason why is because these people are the same people. The people that are disagreeing with these monitors are the same people who don't have subwoofers. Under my desk here, that's a subwoofer. That's a 10-inch powered subwoofer. Okay? Like if I play something here, this is one of my tracks. See if I play something. This here, see, like, now what I can do is I can take away all the bass. Watch. Now the bass is gone. The bass is gone completely, and all you're hearing now is the speakers. The speakers are cut off at 150 hertz, okay? So what we have here is we can control the mud and the bass. You see, we can control the mud and the bass. Now we're getting a whole we're getting like a blanket of warmth from the bass. And you're not going to get that through even 8 inches. You're just not, guys, okay? Like, when it comes to this size of room down here, okay, you need it's just not happening through 8 inches. I'm sorry. The thing is that you guys don't understand. See, look at that. The difference between, look at the bass traps. The difference between this acoustic treatment and the stuff you get at the store is that this stuff actually works. This works a lot. Okay. I was given the advice to buy these things from the advice of a professional studio builder in California. Okay, who specializes in building professional studios. And he said, you need this. Because I'm in a basement with concrete, this is what you need. And holy gee, I didn't know if it would work, but I didn't think it was going to work that well. Look at that mic coming from the ceiling. You see? Okay, these work. If these work so well, I don't even need a booth. That's how well it works, okay? Everybody's going to come out and hate. You see, these are 6.5 inch, okay? The reason why you don't want to use 8 inch when it comes to these, okay, is because there's what you call intermodule distortion, okay? Because a lot of you guys don't understand speakers. There's what's called intermodule distortion, okay? Or modular distortion. What that means is that this cone, when it's trying to reproduce anything in the high end or vocals, it has to vibrate very quickly. It has to go like it has to vibrate very quickly. But what you guys are doing is you guys are using 8 inches and you're putting everything through the 8 inches. So what's happening is that when it's moving slow and wide like this, it goes whoa, whoa, whoa to try and push out air for the low frequencies. What's actually happening is it's making the higher frequencies suffer. This is why, but the more lower the frequency, the more it makes that happen. Okay, so this is why you want to cut it off at 150 hertz. That's the reason why. So it can move quicker and give a more accurate, its accuracy. You want to move quicker to push out the vocals and volumes. That's what you want it to do, okay? What happens is that you guys are using 8 inches, and what it's doing is that this movement here, pushing out all the air in the bass for the full frequency, is creating, and the wide cone is creating the sound to get more muddy or warm. And as humans, we like that. That's a good thing. I have some speakers upstairs that I'm going to install in my ceilings, and they're 8 inches because I know that that's a good sweet spot for humans and everything else. Okay, we like to have nice, warm, good sound. Okay. However, your audience is not going to have that setup. Okay, that's what I keep trying to say. When it comes to studio monitors, your goal is not for you to like it. It's to be just a monitor of what's going on the computer here. Okay, that's what it's really there to be. Okay, this is not supposed to be, this is just supposed to be a good representation of what's going on here. And it doesn't matter which one you get, you're always going to have to learn them and produce music to work on the cheap speakers, because that's what your audience is going to be using. Okay, that goes for a nightclub, that goes for the radio, that goes for the car. They are always going to be 99% on cheap speakers. So why are you going to cheat your own sound with trying to get 8 inches to have it sound all nice and warm and good to you? You know, and then there's another problem with the 8 inches, because the 8 inches, they have a bigger cone, but typically with the 8-inch studio speakers, the cone's a little bit thinner. So what happens is that it's trying to push out, it's trying to be more higher SPL, meaning that they're louder, but it's trying to push out. What it's trying to do what happens is when there's also an 8-inch is that the cone actually, the larger it becomes, the more it has an ability to warp. Okay, you can't see it, of course, but it actually warps. So when you're pushing out the bass and you're pushing out the high end, the 8-inch cone is actually warping. However, this 6.5-inch cone isn't going to warp because it's more smaller, it's more tighter. It's just the law of dynamics, physics, whatever. I listen to the home speaker building crowd. If you want one cone that does everything well and can even handle a little bit of bass well, depending on how big your box is, and this is ported actually. Okay, so the porting, they really try to get this to handle everything well. And you know what? That's exactly what you need. A ported 6.5 with a fairly flat response and a silk dome tweeter is all you're going to need. If anybody says otherwise, these are studio monitors. Yes, they're on sale, B stock $110 right now, which I highly recommend you get. Them. But I mean, this is all you need. The point of the story is that you are not going to. The moral of the story is this: what is going to help more? Is it going to be the powered subwoofer, putting money into a powered subwoofer, a mixer, one of these for the powered subwoofer? Is it going to be that's going to help your mix more, or is it going to be, buying one versus buying another? One's worth $1,000, the other's worth $150. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you think these suck, do your research. That's all I have to say. Do your research on these, okay, if you think that these suck, okay? I was willing to pay more, but I specifically bought these. I'm not into wasting money. I'm into the mix coming out good the first time. And these control the mud. These are the mud control, and these are the bass control. When you hear too much rumble going on here, it means you got too much bass and you better mix down. If you hear too much mud coming through, these will let you know when there's too much mud coming through. And then these will be your high end and vocal and clarity. Okay? These cut off at 150 hertz. This microphone, you see? The microphone cuts off at 150. You understand? So this is cutting off the vocals at 150 hertz. These are cutting off at 150 hertz. Now you're really getting, and these are going in balanced directly through this. So now you're getting the real deal. And this is going to be your mud control, and that's going to be your bass control. Okay, so you can get your mixes down properly the first time. Okay, I will put this speaker setup over here, and the stereo imaging is excellent. I will put this speaker setup against anybody's with my powered subwoofer. I will put this whole speaker setup against absolutely anybody's setup, anybody's home setup. Okay, there was one guy who mentioned it had an 18-inch. He had like 2 speaker setups, and him, maybe I might not put mine against him because he also sounds like he knows what he's doing. But if you think you're going to get the little near-field bookshelf speakers and that sort of thing, no. Now here's the thing: if you are going to record something like jazz or something that is, you really need to spot check your things, you really need to make sure you get the intricacies, is you need to spot check with headphones. Get yourself a pair of headphones. They don't even have to cost that much. So there is no point of spending for a studio environment as long as they're fairly good, monitors, and I could work with Behringers, I could work with anything. I'm being honest. I can work with any monitors, okay? But to waste money and just to spend money, this will not help your final mix. These things here are not going to, as long as they're studio monitors, they're probably going to be good. They're probably going to have a flat response range, okay? These are not going to help your final mix. This will. That will. These things will. These won't. These won't help your final mix. That's what I'm trying to say.